I know that it's wild. Like we are all in different. It's so weird
I know.
to me.
Although
Like-
I'll be in New York tomorrow morning.
Wait, for how long now?
I will be there I get there tomorrow morning, and then I leave early on Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full week.
Pretty much.
I should have planned this better because like that would have been fun if I also went to New York and we could have all met up. That would have been really fun.
Oh my god! I mean,
bag.
what I hate is that almost every time I'm in New York, it's like all work.
Right.
So
Right,
I want
'cause
to just plan a trip where I don't have to fucking worry about getting anything done with career shit.
Right. Yeah. Being a
What
pop
is
star.
your plan?
Yeah, it's
Like,
really.
what is your?
it's-
What is your?
Oh, I
plan
mean
to
this
get here?
this week. You mean?
Yeah. Like obviously you're here
so-
for a reason.
Yeah, so I'm getting in tomorrow. We film the visualizer for the new song at like noon. So I fly in thankfully to LaGuardia.
Work.
And then we film, and then I think we're probably taking it easy that evening, and then Tuesday and Wednesday recording pretty much all day.
Mhm.
For the rest of the Tears and Gears stuff, we're basically writing and recording it. So half of it doesn't exist yet, but it will. It will by Thursday.
Wow.
That's exciting.
We've worked pretty fast actually, which is unusual for me. That is not how my own stuff goes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Thursday the song comes out, and we're gonna do a little. Actually, if you're around, you're welcome to come.
Yeah.
We're doing a little release party. It's just sort of like we're doing it at 456 in Brooklyn,
Oh, cute.
and we're just like fans. Anyone stop by? We're just gonna have a little thing that evening, and then I fly out at like 7 a.m. on Friday.
Wow.
So yeah.
The
Insane.
bus club,
Right.
another club.
It's
no
it's
sleep.
It's gonna be rough. And this is like the first day my voice is back from. I don't know if we started recording like officially, but this is like the first day my voice has not been completely like crunchy from Coachella.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I'm sure there's a lot of that going around.
It was bad. Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, I have to be honest. I don't know if I would have handled it how I would have handled it if I was in that audience for that performance.
You know what's crazy is that people kept talking about how the audience sucked on the live stream. I think the mics weren't picking shit up because like I mean, I don't know. I wasn't getting anything but people going crazy. The vibes were really, really good.
I think that was so. I noticed that there was definitely a stark difference between some of the DJ live streams I saw with some of the live performance ones. Like, and one of the things that I noticed, and I said this to Brian, is that what also made the live stream of Gaga's Coachella performance really good was that every time they cut away, it was to a gay person.
Well, that's because that's the only people who were there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But that's why, like, every time they cut away, it was like some queen who was like so super excited to be there. So I actually thought it kind of kept the energy up, which was great because like I actually posted my stories yesterday. I was watching the Tiesto live stream, and he's got like a whole bunch of people on the stage behind him, and they're all doing the "I took too much ketamine" head bob.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I was like, so you have an actual legend, like that's actually Tiesto in front of you at Coachella. I was like, and you're gonna be forever immortalized on this live stream, looking just like chewing your gum like it's your job. And I'm like, I didn't really like, but yeah, I don't know. I thought Gaga's was great.
Is this the first year that they live streamed both weekends?
I don't think so. I think they do both.
I thought that in previous years when they started doing the live stream, I thought that they only did weekend 1 and then weekend 2 wasn't live streamed. But yeah, I mean, I didn't watch it, but I saw that they were like live streaming all of the second weekend.
I watched this past weekend's Gaga performance because I hadn't seen it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I was dying at your stories because you were freaking out about the microphone malfunction.
Oh my god. So that is a nightmare scenario. Even you know, for someone on a very low level to have like a technical thing go out like that, especially like a headset mic in the like at the very beginning, and she like couldn't move. Like she couldn't just like stop and go down, so she just had to like power through like a professional. And then someone took a video of when she was going down like one of the tech people like quickly handed her the mic, and you see her grab it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I don't know. My heart stopped.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because it's like there's nothing you can do. And what's funny is that like weekend 2, people have been telling me this is the weekend that, they work out all the tech aspects. And I'm like, interesting.
Not with her. Not with her.
Right.
Somebody's getting fired.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that was. How long was she without audio? Was it
like a minute or two? Oh no. So it was like so Bloody Mary had audio, Abracadabra started, and it started cutting out. And I would say she got her mic back, I think, during the handheld mic during the second chorus of Abracadabra.
Wow.
So not for super long, but it probably felt like an eternity for her.
Oh,
the verse was cutting in and out, and she kept holding the mic like that.
Yeah.
To keep it in place, and every time she let go, it would cut out. And then the chorus came in, and she had backing vocals, so that wasn't too bad. But then it was like, choose the road on the way, and nothing.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my god.
No.
You're in the audience like pop stars. They're just like us.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm like, I'm not here. I'm not gonna like assume my own lore, but like I have a bit of a habit of
habit.
I like to swing. Oh my god! My best song. I have a bit of a habit of when I have a corded mic, I like to swing it around, kind of like that, like Roger Daltrey style.
Uh-huh.
I would say 75% of the time it falls out, and I have to reach down and put it back.
You're like, oops.
It's like a thing. It's like it's like I did it. Actually, it was pretty good this past time because I had taped it up. I learned, so I got like stage tape, and I like taped it on there so I could do it a little harder.
Yeah.
But when I was in Canada again, one of the guys who would come to both performances like, well, that's 2 for 2 that I've been to. I'm like, I am nothing if not consistent. So even that, I'm like, fuck, gotta reach it.
Right. Yeah. You're like, oh, I gotta use this. I gotta sing now. Yeah.
So when I do my classes at Peloton, when I do my classes at Peloton, I have specifically like a one ear like headphone, so it like clips over the top, and then it's just the one side here, and it's partly because it's easier than to have both. I also like to have the ear free so I can hear what the coach is saying, blah blah blah, and also it keeps the headset mic in place once the headphone is on. It doesn't move. Mine has been broken. The place that I get them from has been out of stock. So I've been using regular headphones like this. And I forget that I can't actually dance and move as much in class because so far, I think it's been like 4 for 4 classes that I've had these types of headphones on where I have just done something and the headphones just come clear off my head.
Oh, no.
Across the room. I'm like,
of course.
Trying to make it look like grand and like grab the wire and stuff. And I'm like, this is an absolute fail.
Oh my God.
You're only human.
Right. I was like, you just keep going.
And I don't have any audio problems because I'm perfect.
Because you're perfect.
So...
you got this down. You have to be. Right. You're the host, bitch.
No, actually.
And the tech support.
No, completely untrue, because the first 5 episodes of this podcast, my microphone, I was recording with it backwards. So
oh my God.
Yeah. So like with this blue light, that's where I'm supposed to be having it come in.
That's
and
incredible.
So I was like, oh, okay. So audio's crazy.
It's like it just sound like we upped the budget by like 50% just by flipping it around.
Just flipping it around. We flip it around.
Bring down, flip it, and reverse it. Who I also saw.
Oh, how was okay?
I saw. Okay, so I saw her. I didn't see the whole set, but I saw like bits and pieces of it, kind of walking through.
Let's officially start. Welcome back to Homophonic, everyone. I'm probably going to keep all of that in there for the most part.
Please do. I hope you all enjoyed the amazing new theme music.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Yeah, you like that? Thanks.
That was a
John
nice
Michael.
That was a nice surprise. And I opened that. I was like, "Atta girl."
There we go. We're not just raw dogging it anymore.
Yeah.
We're lubing you up a little bit, tiny bit.
Right.
Yeah. So this, we are once again joined by John Michael and the fantastic ZEE Machine, Shadow of a Man, ZEE Machine,
Lady Gaga correspondent.
That's right, literally. And we are recording on Easter, so he hath risen. Let's celebrate that.
Yes.
I just posted on Threads. I said, I am risen every morning, and I don't see anyone celebrating that.
I love that you're using Threads. Honestly, I don't think I
love it.
I got a new phone like the week after Threads started, and I never re-downloaded it.
I'm starting to realize that like I have a huge following on Threads just because of the way that they like integrated it all.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
And I have like no followers on Twitter. So I will once in a while post to Threads just because I remember that it's there. And it will get a lot of traction sometimes. Not all the time, but like I've like the gay equivalent question that I asked.
Yes.
I posted that on Threads as well. And the hundreds of responses that I got.
Oh, wait, what was the question you asked?
The question is, and this will be great. This will be great social media content. Here we go.
Wait, I think I remember.
Yeah, so I asked the world, I asked the culture, what is the gay equivalent to "Don't Stop Believin'"?
Oh yeah.
And the amount of John Michael, you responded. You said
I said it was 2 because like they're both almost the same thing for me. Where it's Raining Men by the Weather Girls, and no shade, and I love the Weather Girls, and they are super talented. But it's Raining Men and what was the other one I said?
You said I'm Coming Out.
I'm Coming Out. Yeah, Diana Ross.
Okay.
They're two sides of the same coin, and I like them, and they're genius, and they're brilliant, and the people that wrote and produced and did all the things are iconic. Nile Rodgers, Paul Jabara, like just all of these guys, like it's just incredible.
Yeah.
But it's just too much, and I can't do it anymore.
What would the qualifiers have to be? Like what makes it Don't Stop Believing the straight version of that?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, because this question was initially presented to me by a straight man at my work. And he was like, what is, and so I was just trying to think of, I was like, Don't Stop Believing, that's kind of like this like anthemic stadium song that people just kind of like, I feel like it gets played a lot at sporting events and just like big events in general. So I was like, what would be this like equivalent? And so I immediately
would say Believe.
I was going to say Believe is on the list. I think YMCA is also on the list.
Yeah. I would have said
YMCA is straight now though.
Right.
Yeah.
They're reclaiming
it's a MAGA
time.
song.
Right.
Yeah.
My immediate response when he first asked me the question, I think I said Cher's Believe or Robin's Dancing on My Own.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But then, as I started presenting it to the culture, if you will, like I started getting everything from Born This Way to
So Holiday by Madonna.
I don't think I got any Madonna songs. Oh, I got Vogue. I got Vogue by Madonna.
Yes.
I got Vogue. And then what else? Someone said Bad Romance. Someone said,
now they're just naming popular gay songs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
it's got to be more specific.
Right. Yeah. Well, then then the same person had asked me, what's the gay equivalent to Sweet Caroline? And that's a tough one. That's a tough one, because I think the qualifier for that, there has to be like a call and response type of thing with it.
Which I don't think we have. I don't think the gays do that.
And not really. They certainly
don't call and response.
I mean, in that case, maybe something like a Vogue where everyone knows like the rap, the little spoken part.
Right.
I don't know. Ugh.
Yeah,
I don't know. And you know what? I don't even know if these songs are even the gay equivalent of Don't Stop Believin'. Because like there's something
maybe we don't have one.
I was gonna say, I think that there's something so specific about like that song.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I don't even know like what song makes all the gays lose their mind in the same way that straight people do for Don't Stop Believin'.
Well, I think it's like kind of generational too, right? Because I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Like if you ask if you ask like a Gen Zer, they're gonna be like, I don't know, they'll be like Hot to Go. But if you ask,
well, Hot to Go is this generation's YMCA.
Well, and I was gonna say,
yeah, for sure.
I think in 5 years' time, we'll come back to this question and we'll be like, it's definitely Hot to Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my friend Nate said Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Wait, actually, maybe, because I feel like I've heard that song in public, I think more than any other song.
Yeah.
For some reason, like just out and about. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm there's rarely a night that I'm out where there's not some version of that song played at gay or straight events.
Right.
And I feel like after she passed away, I mean, obviously that's a huge hit for her in general, but like I feel like after she passed away, that song kind of took on a new life of its own.
Well, I feel like what they end up doing, and a lot of maybe it's the label's fault, is that they just sort of like, and maybe I see this with Britney with Toxic, you know, they sort of like zero in on like the one song where it's like, this is their best song. And I'm like, but it's
Yeah.
hardly not. Like,
I will say I do sort of feel I Want to Dance with Somebody getting like the toxic, the bad romance
Yeah.
treatment where it's like objectively, yes, love it. I have not hit play on this song in a very long
Right.
time because
'Cause-
I don't need
right.
to.
Yeah, you don't need to. You'll
Right.
you'll hear it out wherever you
Yeah,
go.
girl.
That's how I
Any-
feel about Believe.
Yeah, any playlist that you see in regards to anything 80s or anything Pride or whatever.
Well, and it's funny because I went to go. So Jennifer Beals, this is so random. Jennifer Beals is doing a book tour, and it's like a photographic journal book of like her time on the L Word. And I'm such a lesbian because I love that show so much, and I was obsessed with it. And I love her character so much that literally one of my closest friends is in my phone as her character name. Anyway, long story, very very short. Whoever like the person that was in charge of making the gay playlist before the whole thing started for the room full of lesbians was like the most stereotypical, now that's what I call lesbians, like volume 1. And it was like everything from like Chapel Roan to Born This Way to like just Melissa Etheridge and like just the very stereotypical. And I'm like, why do we do this? Like we can get better songs for ourselves. Like it's okay. Like we can. I don't know. Like we get so stuck on this, and I'm like, we don't have to live this heteronormative musical lifestyle.
Right. Let's stop that.
I've been saying.
You know, I mean, I've been trying to put together like a Pride playlist of like, you know, this is very on brand for me, like lesser known songs that I feel like often get left out of Pride, and like songs like Janet Jackson's Free Zone. Like it's a very clear homage to the queer community that it does not ever get played at Pride. I would say A Different Kind of Love Song by Cher, another song that is very much all about, you know, including everyone, and it just doesn't get played at Pride. And so,
I mean, she literally has a song called Pride that never gets played at Pride.
Right.
Like they literally play Believe and Strong Enough.
And then obviously a lot of queer artists don't get played at Pride. Like
Amen.
Thank God.
So it's just like, yeah, I'm trying to cultivate a playlist of sorts to start getting that ball.
I guess that is coming up soon. Oof.
She's coming up so soon. I mean, we're less than 2 weeks away from May, which is insane.
I actually did discover quite a few because I've been doing this all even for work stuff, like just looking up like gay artists and gay people. And I literally have a running playlist called I Heart Gay People on my for work.
I want a shirt that says that in the I Heart New York style.
Yes.
I Heart Gay People.
And I have to say it's been really interesting because what I'm noticing now, and I think it's really cool, and it's probably access to technology and all this other stuff that's been happening over the years, is that I feel like when I was a kid and growing up, gay artists, specifically gay male artists, all had the same voice. And it was very much like that sort of like, I don't know, I don't want to be stereotypical, but that stereotypical gay male voice in all of the songs. And I was like, I don't know, there's this sort of like general sameness, whatever. And now
like a Kevin Aviance type of voice.
I think Kevin Aviance, like a sort of who would I even say? Like, you know, boom, 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 let's go back to my room so we could do it all night. And you can make, like, it's just very sort of like simple, like not singers, like not,
okay, sure.
You know, just sort of very, very thin, what I like to call prosciutto voice. It's just very thin.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It's just very sort of.
When you were saying like the gay man voice, I was kind of like, for some reason, my mind immediately went to like, oh, no. My mind immediately went to like an Andy Bell or a Boy George kind of thing. And I'm like, well, that's not too bad.
No, except that they have really talented voices. Thinner than that.
Okay, yeah. No, now there's a few different genres of gay singer voice. I get that.
Yeah. But I feel like now, so as I've been going down this rabbit hole recently, there are so many different gay artists in so many different genres that I have even myself never heard of. And I do this almost every year for work, and I look for, you know, people or whatever. And I'm just like really, really excited about that. Let's celebrate that. Like, I think that's
let's celebrate that.
It's like really, and support gay artists, support your local people, because there's some really great stuff out there.
Yeah. I mean, we got one of them right here.
I mean,
just saying. Just saying.
Will he be joining us or
in a minute.
Yeah.
But speaking of gay people, you know who loves gay people is Lady Gaga. And ZEE, you got to experience. She's been known to love some gay people once in a while. And ZEE, you got to experience her Coachella show in person, like
the Superior weekend.
The Superior weekend, yeah. And like, I've never been to a music festival ever, so I don't even know what it's like. I have no idea what Coachella is like. What was that like being there for Gaga?
Oh my God, where do we start? Well, just straight up, it was the best live show I've seen in my life. Like hands down by a lot. I've seen her 5 times, I want to say now. After Act 1, it was already like the best thing I'd ever seen her do live. I was just like, oh my God, okay, this has been worth it. I'm not a huge music festival girly myself either, especially in this kind of heat.
Right.
And the ones I have been to were never this big. You know,
Okay.
I'd been to Outside Lands in San Francisco, which was a very, very different vibe. Still fun, but like, you know, I took a bus to Palm Springs, and that took twice as long because of all the Coachella traffic. It's usually 2 hours. It took me 4 hours.
Ew.
I was lucky enough I got to crash with a friend who lived out there who was also going with me, so I saved money on lodging, so I didn't have to camp there. And then you take a shuttle into the festival grounds, and then they kind of like they herd you in. You have to walk like 15 more minutes down this thing, and then you go through security. But once you're in there, it's just like, oh wow, it really does look like the pictures. Like, oh, there's that little rainbow tower. Oh, there's the oh my God, like a little Ferris wheel thing. It was a really, honestly, I had a really good time. I'm glad I only did it for one day. And then honestly, I kind of slayed my whole schedule there. I saved on lodging, and then the day after Gaga's performance, I sold my wristbands for the next 2 days to somebody I found on Reddit.
Let's celebrate that.
And then I hopped on a bus the next day, 2 hours back home, and I was good to go.
Wow.
Perfect.
So I had a really there's a Coachella app where it's showing like who's all playing at what time. It shows like a map of like the festival grounds, because you can get lost really easily there. It's a very large area, and there's just people fucking everywhere, and your phone the service is spotty because everyone's using it. So you have to kind of plan out where you're trying to be when, and you can like go through the app and like click on, I want to see this act, and it will like kind of schedule that out for you. So I kind of had to like loosely stick to that as best I could. I caught a few people that day. I mean, let's be real, I was there. This was my Mayhem Ball tour stop because I didn't get the actual tour tickets.
Yeah.
But I saw a few people that day. I saw the guy from Stranger Things, Joe, DJO.
Yeah,
I love his stuff. I think he's like unnecessarily good at music.
Love that.
I saw Lisa from Blackpink. And
I loved your story. You were like, let's go, Mook.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I was kind of like it was probably, honestly, it was White Lotus that made me want to like check her out.
I love that.
And I was very impressed. I feel like people were like coming for her and Jenny or whatever online, and I'm like, oh my God, like whatever. It's like she put on, it was her production value was really high. I felt like she moved like a star. She's gorgeous. Like, just like let it go. That Born Again song fucking goes off.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I had a really, really good time watching her. They went from her. So after that, we made our way over to the main stage. Missy Elliott was still doing her thing. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I need to decide right now if I want to commit my body to finding a spot closer to the stage and holding that space.
Yes.
And or if I am cool just kind of being there. And so I told my friend, it's like, all right, let's go. pee, stock up on water, maybe get a little something to eat right now. So unfortunately, I didn't catch all of Missy Elliott because she was on right before Gaga,
Sure.
but I heard most of her set
Right.
from nearby.
Yeah.
Amazing visuals, all the hits. Excellent choice
amazing.
for the festival. But so we did that. We just fucking plowed through as far as we could until it got to a point where just the barricade of people was just too hard to get through. And I'm like, I'm not a person who likes confrontation.
Right.
So the fact that I pushed myself like that far through was very hard for me. But we got there. We made friends with like the people around us. We stood there for like a little over an hour. So the stage was like, there's the main stage there's the walkway, and then there's like the B stage out front. We were sort of in between the B stage and the main stage, so it was like pretty close. I was quite close to like one of the screens.
Wow.
And I kind of got a similar feeling there as I did when I was at the filming of the season 11 Drag Race finale. It was like oh, I'm like, no one can spoil this for me,
Right.
This is the first time this is happening. Like I'm experiencing this with my own eyes in real time. It was kind of out of body in a weird way like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was because like she hadn't performed almost any of these songs live before.
Right.
No, not
So
she's only performed in at least their like kind of original versions, only Abracadabra and
Killa.
And Killa.
Yeah, because she's done the Acoustic Disease and she's done an acoustic Perfect Celebrity on Howard Stern.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, this is about to like change my life. And I was right.
It did.
But I don't know. It was not to be like corny, but also I'm wearing my Gagachella overpriced merch.
Come on, Mayhem.
How much did they charge you for that?
This is like $70. It's a lot. The hoodies were $100.
I spent $150 on 3 T-shirts at the Kylie Minogue show.
Oh, well, I mean,
right.
That's actually not bad for 3 T-shirts.
I know. It's $50 a T-shirt. I was like,
oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I mean, yes.
Right. I'm like, all right,
I mean, girl. I mean, after the amount I charged for my vinyl shipping, I'm not.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's why, like, I don't feel bad. Like, sometimes when I'm leaving the place, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get the parking lot T-shirt, and it's just the $10 one. I was like, this is fine.
Oh, and sometimes they're better.
Right. They're more fun.
I was gonna say I was considering maybe a Kylie shirt, and when I saw the material, like the way that it's like kind of screen printed, I was like, I think I'm good.
It's like a Gildine shirt. Like, okay,
right.
I can make that at home.
Wait, so that I get the Kylie shirt, and I'm like, we'll go crazy to like 3 different merch shops because they had a specific one that said I Heart KM, and then on the back it said Madison Square Garden and had like the dates on it. And I was like, oh, I said, you know what? I'll spend the money on a location specific shirt. I was like, if it's regular tour merch that I can get on the website, I don't really care.
Right.
I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, if it's location specific, that's cool. I buy it, and
that was my justification for this.
And then how about this bitch puts it on her fucking website?
What a cunt.
Right. I was like, Miss Minogue. I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, I literally held onto this shirt all night long because I thought it was.
Oh my God.
Was it the same price?
Yes.
Okay. Well, at least okay. Well,
they probably had leftovers.
At least it wasn't. At least it wasn't like discounted on this website.
If it was cheaper, oh my God.
$15. Yeah.
Send this bitch back to Australia.
Oh my God.
So was that the only like Gagachella specific merch?
Oh no, there was a bunch of things. There was a few different shirts. But this was the one. I don't know. I liked this specific design.
Yeah,
I liked the best.
Oh,
no,
I
that's
love
sick.
that.
Yeah, I love that.
There was one that said like Mayhem in the Desert, and I'm like, I don't. Unpopular opinion. I don't always love shirts with big text on it.
I am not if you ever look at my outfits, like I don't have any text on anything.
Yeah, I love an image, but I don't love. But if it's for the longest time, I've wanted just like the shirt with the Born This Way single cover art. She's like looking over her shoulder. One of my favorite photos of her. But it always says "Born This Way," and I'm like, can we not with that? That's like my dream piece of merch right there. But I do not believe it exists. So, but yeah, I was like, you know what, I got it. So she had like a whole like tent of like merch tent. Like she had one, Post Malone had one. They were like one section in a row along like one end of the festival grounds, and I stopped in there. There was like a big line to get in. I was like, okay, I guess I'll have to wear. Honestly, this is not even that comfortable. I'll be totally honest.
It's like itchy.
It's okay.
You're breaking out into a rash.
I may just need to wash it because it's still kind of, because it's a very like tough material, and I think that's by design, because like this is a medium and it's like kind of big on me. I think it's supposed to be like oversized and like thick. I think once I wear it in, it'll like soften up a bit. And like the neck kind of like is tight and like goes up a little bit. So it's an interesting interesting design.
A little bit of a mock neck detail.
Yeah,
celebrate that.
exactly.
Gaga's like, I'm a brutalist now.
I mean, if it was very that, especially
brutalist.
looking at that stage, it was kind of giving Born This Way ball castle vibes.
It was
like opera house.
Yeah. Well, I was blown away at the set, everything from the set to the costumes. Like when I saw the live stream, I mean, when I think of like a festival, I'm like, okay, this is like, it's not a tour. You think that it would be a little bit more bare bones in a sense, just because like you're not the only one performing in that stage.
Yeah.
I was blown away at what they did with that stage and her costumes, the giant dress that she starts in, right? Like,
so good.
Oh my God.
That when they started to do that pan down of like all the people under the dress in the cage, that's when I started losing my mind. Because I was like, this bitch is spending the budget.
Well, and also I feel like right off the top, we have to acknowledge that this was Paris Goebel like putting this all together with her, because I mean, like,
yes,
it is the staging, the dancers, the choreography, but like the choreography. And what I love about Paris specifically is that if you're looking, sorry, I don't want to get too far away from the microphone. If you're looking at the stage and it's like, you see like Gaga's in the middle and there's like all this activity and dancers and things happening around her. But then there's also like choreographed moments where it's like there's 3 dancers that are doing something specific on this side of the stage. And then there's 3 other ones that are doing something else very specific to what they're doing over here. And everything is so like, there's so many things to look at and your eye goes so many different places. And no matter where it lands, it's just interesting. Like Paris just has a way of doing that. And it's just brilliant to me.
Yeah, it was. That's something that's kind of interesting, like being in the audience versus like watching the live stream and being in different places in the audience, is that what you're seeing on the screen, like obviously it's happening there, but like I would look up there and then I'd try to find where it was happening on the stage. So it's kind of like different parts of where you are directed at different parts of the audience in a way. Because like whenever like the whole like chess sequence for Poker Face, like I had to like turn around and look behind me at that, because because that was on the other stage, that like down the walkway. So I would have to kind of like check that, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look at the screen for this one. But like the opening sequence, I could just kind of look to the side and I was like, oh, there she is. It was so crazy because it was so tiny, but when you're on the screen and it's right up in your face, it looks so epic and bigger than life. So it's,
I mean, the videography that they did for the live stream was immaculate. Like I was like, this feels like a Jonas Åkerlund produced or filmed.
It
like
felt like a music video.
Right. The choreography of that alone is so impressive.
It was absolutely insane. I mean, that opening sequence alone was just mind blowing to me. I'm still speechless.
I know. Like, I'm sorry, like that. Just that I really hope that when she goes on tour with this, that we somehow keep that abracadabra into Judas transition.
I feel like
sure.
I think this is gonna be like the template for the tour. I feel like I remember her saying that she's like not gonna completely break the bank like she did on something like the Monster Ball, because she was like, I spent like way too much money. But then she was like, but for Coachella I might make a few exceptions. I was like, okay, good.
Right.
Good.
Right.
So I'm curious to see what elements of this she does retain for the for the tour. I'm what like because that the opera house setup would be so incredible. It would read so well in an arena.
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
like.
I feel like it would be so hard to rehearse for something like Coachella while simultaneously rehearsing for a tour and have them be so different.
Different, right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would be kind of like,
Yeah.
how would I know what is like what?
Well, but I
Mhm.
also think that now she's at that point, and I noticed it during Judas, and I kind of felt that way because like when you go see Janet Jackson, when you go see Beyonce, when you go see Madonna, like almost every tour is somewhat a greatest hits tour at this point. You know, there are
Mhm.
songs that are in, there are songs that are out, but it's you're getting
Mhm.
the the big ones. And when Judas was happening, and I'm like, she's been doing this choreography for like 15
Mhm.
years, 16 years. Like I feel like there are just things that are like in them at this point.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's like she just really needs to figure out the other parts of the,
Sure.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, I mean, what I loved so much about this performance, though, too, is that there was definitely the familiar choreography for the songs, but there was also a lot of new choreography.
Wasn't there
Poker
some new
Face was
Judas
incredible.
choreography?
What's
I
that?
thought I saw that like on TikTok that there was like some new Judas choreography.
Yeah. And I just think that that's again, that's a huge like shout out to Paris because she was able to retain some of the iconic choreography while freshening it up a
Yep.
lot.
Mhm.
Because I think for me, Z, cover your ears, but like my biggest gripe I think with Gaga is how much she kind of stayed the same for like she would not change choreography and she would not change like
Choreographers.
Mhm.
well
Well,
Right.
that
Right.
and so the fact that we got fresh choreography, fresh arrangements of songs that we've heard,
Mhm.
for the last 15 years, like it felt so good and everything felt just familiar yet elevated.
Right.
It was excellent. Like,
No,
oh my
agreed.
god.
I feel
And
like
then
that's your new grinder bio. Familiar
Familiar
yet
but
elevated.
elevated. Oh,
which I just deleted Grinder again for the millionth time, so
I
let's
love that
celebrate
for
good
that.
you.
job. Maybe I'm sure it'll stick this time.
I'm
Right.
sure it will stick. It will totally stick. Did you have a favorite section of the show?
Yeah, yes. I mean, I think that maybe it was just because my adrenaline was the highest, but that poker face sequence
Oh, it was so good.
was when she was like face to face with like that old version of her, and then just
Yes.
like the movement of how it was being filmed and them going back. And here's the thing: I'm someone who is very pro poker face no longer being in the set list. You
Sure.
know,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I am over that song, and she made it feel
Yep.
fresh for me again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I should have trusted this bitch. You
I was
know,
very
Yeah.
surprised because as soon as
Yeah.
it started, I was like, "Oh, okay." I
Mhm.
was like, I wasn't expecting this, and then as it unfolded, I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
my god!"
Yeah.
That I have a new love for Garden of Eden
Uh-huh.
after that.
And I gotta say, I
And
felt like that's where she looked like she was having some of the most fun.
yes, she
Yeah.
looked so hot during that
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was one moment where I was kind of like, oh, I like we had just had this like whole first act where she didn't, take her foot off our necks for like 20 minutes straight. And then there was kind of like a whole interlude. Like the dancers did their thing. She kind of went off stage for like 4-5 minutes, like a good chunk of time. And I was like, oh no, she's kind of losing me here. And then the lights came on and she's buried with the skeleton. I'm like, never mind.
Right. And we're
It
back.
all makes sense.
Right.
I need to trust her vision, trust the process. This is perfect.
I think that was my favorite bit.
Yeah.
Blew my fucking mind
Like,
with
I couldn't-
that. Yeah.
I've liked Disease. It was not my favorite starter single,
Mhm.
and I it took me a minute, and I was kind of into it, but after
Mhm.
seeing that, I was like, that's what I needed. That is
Mhm.
exactly what I needed. That's because now I
Yeah.
will forever think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I feel like I only have like 3 or so like small like, ooh, I wish she would have done this like throughout the
Mhm.
entire thing. First one was she cut Love Drug, or she didn't add Love Drug, and that was, but she fucking kept the beast, which
Right. And as soon as it started, I looked at Brian and I was like, she loves this song.
She does
Yeah.
love this
She
song.
really loves this
I
song.
will commend her. She did not do Blade of Grass, and I thought that was inevitable.
I thought so too.
Yes,
I thought
same,
that was
same.
for sure going to
Yeah.
be the new
Right.
like piano ballad moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, she's saving that for tour.
Right.
Totally. Yeah.
She didn't do the bridge of Perfect Celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And then she also, and you know what? I get it. It's hot and dry and it's a long set and she's going hard. She didn't go up at the end of Disease. She just kind of
Yes.
sang the chorus
Oh,
all the way
sure.
through.
But there was
which
a few
is
moments of that.
fine.
Yeah, there was a few
Yeah.
of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I was
But
just like,
she
all
hit
right.
every note of like Vanish Into You, like
Yeah.
How Bad Do You Want Me to Tell Me?
Yeah.
Like her voice was like this. Here you go. Okay. From a vocal perspective, her technique throughout the years is so clean, so refined and healthy. Like even if like, you know, she's moving around and her pitch isn't like perfect, she's always hitting these notes with such clarity and like breath support that like her voice has gotten so much stronger with age. Because I'm listening to these performances of her on like the Fame Ball Festival. Like there's that one where she comes out of that big giant metal like pyramid,
Mm-hmm.
and girl, she took Love Game down several steps, and that is not a high song.
Right.
And her voice is kind of husky. It's like she was. This is like it was like. Like you can tell that this is like her first time really touring, and her voice is feeling it, and so she's adjusting. And it's smart. She's adjusting to that, but like now her voice is like the clarity that she has in her singing is so impressive.
Well, and I will say too, and it sounded like a crazy way to start the song on the record, but for Vanish Into You, I was like, this is going to be such a wild thing because I don't know if people can really appreciate the ability and what it takes to like come out the gate so full throat and hit a specific note and nail it. And it's like such a crazy thing to do. And the way that she just did it live, that like it was nothing.
At
I was
the
like,
end of the set,
right.
after
I was
2
like,
hours,
oh, bitch. Okay.
I gotta say, like, I think as human beings, and Z, you're obviously gonna know this, like, we do not acknowledge how hard singing actually is.
Right.
Like, singing is really fucking hard. Like, I will go to karaoke and do one song, and my throat feels sore. I'm like, what? Like, what is going on here?
Right.
The fact that you're able to go on stage and perform for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours is insane.
Right.
That's
to me.
fucking crazy. Like I don't know how. I was like, I feel like the Bionic Woman after like a week of doing a 40-minute set every night, which, you know, not nothing.
Right.
Watching her do this and then just be able to do, I don't know, like back to back, a night out. I have to bank my like vocal stamina for that. Some people are just built different. Like it's not fair. We're not all built the same, you know. I mean, obviously there's certain through lines of, you know, technique that will help anyone. But some people are able to just like, you know, go out and like party for the night and then do a show the next morning, or like a radio show the next morning. It's crazy.
And Gaga has that sort of like old Italian woman, like I don't even want to stability, sturdiness, like fortitude. I don't even know what the word is, but it's like carries it. She vocally carries herself like a Rosemary Clooney, like a Edie Gourmet, like these old school, like, you know, crooner women who could do all of that and then, you know, still smoke cigarettes and, you know, cook a meal for 12 people. And
she has been known to like, Gaga's not a smoker.
Right.
And she's made that known. Like, and it's so funny because like when she speaks, her voice kind of like goes down here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and like she's a vocal fry girly.
Yeah.
But then when she gets into her singing voice, it's like
it is. That's what I mean. It's very that sort. And I noticed it the most on Vanish Into You. When we even had our first podcast, I talked about that, and it feels like I don't know if it's
on a hill.
Right. Like I don't know if it's because of the Tony Bennett-ness of that whole thing and like the jazz bits, but
that is when I did notice her voice changing though.
Yeah.
Because like you can hear her different voices and like different like her voice on all of her old demos. she sounds like a girl.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's like then she has a very specific Born This Way voice. Like
Yes.
there was the Greatest Thing demo.
Yes.
When she comes in and sings that line, I'm like, oh, she sounds so like Born This Way on this. I don't know how to explain it.
Right.
Like she doesn't like it sounds like Gaga, but she doesn't sound like that anymore. And then, you know, once she started singing with Tony Bennett and like doing the whole Joanne thing, her voice really matured into this different quality. And that is, I think, the one thing that like, okay, I love Chromatica. It does sound like someone who sings like pop rock music singing over like dance beats on that album.
Interesting.
Like her voice sounds very organic, and that is one of her most like smooth electronic produced albums she has. And so and it sounds and it's she sounds amazing, but I don't think there's that many a lot of singers who sing over that style, their voices are far more processed than she was doing.
Right. Yeah.
The times that she doesn't really do that as much as like 911, where it's very processed, obviously, but that's like a stylistic choice. But you know, something like Fun
like
Tonight.
Right.
Or an Alice, yeah.
Alice, yeah.
I always wonder, will I ever see her do 911 live?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like of
it's not
all
a
the
hit,
Chromatica songs, that would have been perfect for the storyline that she was kind of telling with this.
Yeah.
So I was actually really shocked that there was no Chromatica featured in this performance. I'm not necessarily upset about it because I think that the show was pretty much flawless for what it is. But if I had my way, I would have loved to have seen some Chromatica represented.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's become clear over this promo cycle with Mayhem that like she has found the things that and the music and the parts of her catalog that bring her joy and is reflecting on the parts that did not, as my in retrospect did not. Like she's, you know, now openly said that like Joanne was a tough time for her, or because she was kind of thinking she was doing what people wanted from her and reinventing herself in a way that she felt like people wanted to see. And then we know that Art Pop was tough as well. And apparently Chromatica was her, like, was almost a little bit like fan service in a way. I mean, which bums me out because that album to this day is so top to bottom, so listenable for me. I love it so much. Like, I understand why it might not be people's favorites, but like,
it's my favorite.
Yeah, let go and just have some fucking fun. Like
that's my favorite.
I'm always
Fun Tonight.
Really? Chromatica. Oh, I love that.
There's no skips on that album for me.
And honestly, it's an album where like when the next song comes on, I'm like, oh yay! Like every time. Right. So it's gotten more playable for me over time. But like, I don't think lyrically it's her strongest. I don't think conceptually it's necessary, or sonically it's her most innovative. But like, she doesn't have to. You know what's funny? Someone was I listened to that Pop Pantheon podcast. They've done a lot of Gaga content this past month, obviously because the album and then the Coachella. But they were saying how like he's been waiting for her to do like have her ray of light moment, kind of, you know, where like you're like about to turn 40. And then like coming back with this moment that like really just reinvigorates your career or reinvigorates like you stylistically as like an innovator and like new kind of sound. And it's like, and I'm kind of thinking she's just not this same type of artist. Like maybe, and then in my mind, I'm like, I think she did that with Born This Way. I don't know. A little bit. I think Born This Way was like her ray of light but she just did it too early.
I don't know. Like it's for me, I mean, Ray of Light is obviously such a special album to me, and this is where we veer into the allotted Ray of Light segment.
Right. I knew I was going to get into this.
Right. I feel like because I feel like this is not specific just to Gaga. I feel like every pop star, when they hit 40, everyone eyes are on them and like, are you going to have a Ray of Light moment? Are you going to have a Ray of Light moment? And you know, I don't know. I think that Gaga has that in her. And I don't know if I don't think that she's had her Ray of Light moment yet.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I think that she will. I think that she will have a Ray of Light moment. And I don't think that, because some people were like, well, Mayhem should have been her like Ray of Light period. But we're just are living in a different time now where like artists aren't necessarily allotted to be as experimental as you could have been back in the 90s, I feel.
Yeah. And also like having a, you know, quote unquote ray of light moment, which I love is like a term now, is like it's not like a necessary benchmark, you know,
No.
like some people do that. Like also Gaga she has so many like irons in the fire. Like I like people have kept saying that like, oh, she's, you know, the next Madonna, but she's the next Cher.
Right.
I think she is much more like a Cher than she is a
100%.
Madonna.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I just feel like when people constantly complain about having to compare the two all the time, I'm like, for people who don't want to compare them, like you bring them up a lot. Like it's so
right.
and
No, they
so
do. They do want to everyone,
everyone wants to compare them, and so they and I have always kind of felt this way. They really are two very different artists. Yes, Gaga has taken inspiration from Madonna. But I mean, name a pop star that really hasn't?
Who has
I
that?
mean,
Right.
yeah,
Addison Rae.
Let me tell you what.
I will say I saw the clip of Addison Rae talking about her new love for Carly Simon's "Boys in the Trees" album, and I was like, right,
what? Okay,
yeah. And I was
would
very,
not
very
have guessed that
at all. And it was like it came across my newsfeed, and I was like, wait a minute, what? And I like watched this whole thing, and she was talking about how the cover art really spoke to her and made her want to listen to the album. And while she knew other songs, she didn't really know this album, and she just listened to it, and how it kind of made her fall further in love with like her songwriting and blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right. I was like, come on, classics.
I love that.
Right. And I'm like, broadcast that out to your audience. I love that. Totally.
I love the video clip of Carly Simon where she's like, I thought you might like to see this. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, like of on like like from recently where she kind of looks like a living doll.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite clips on the internet. It's so funny. God. But Addison is interesting to me. Like I don't know how I quite feel about her yet. Last night I did like an anonymous AMA thing, and
I saw someone ask you about her.
Yeah, and so they were like, "What are your favorite songs of hers?" And I was like, you know, Aquamarine is probably my favorite. I do like Headphones On. There's an unreleased song called Chords That Cry that's really good. That's
I love that one.
good.
I really do like that one.
It's really, really good. But like, she's also not an artist that I'm just going out of my way to necessarily listen to, and for no specific reason. Right now, she's just not.
I will say, I feel like I have a lot of oh my god, this is like welcome to the Addison Rae podcast. She's someone that I feel like I had a lot of like pre-existing bias resistance to, just because she was kind of this like, I mean, no shade, this sort of irritating TikTok dancer for the longest time with like a vaguely like conservative family background thing. I don't know. Like I feel like her I saw some TikTok or something about how like initially her aesthetic was very kind of like all American, kind of like Republican
Girl Next Door.
Girl Next Door.
Yeah.
And she's really done a hard pivot and rebrand, and it's kind of like if I didn't know like everything about her, like what she was doing before all this, would I feel the same?
Well, I was like, I have not gotten that like into her catalog. There hasn't been anything that's really like grabbed me so far. And not that I don't think she's talented. I think she's doing something, whatever it is that she's doing, but it just hasn't spoken to me yet. And I think I'm still holding a grudge for her being the person that released Nothing On But the Radio.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't really been that inspired by anything pre Diet Pepsi, and I think that was a thing that made me be like, oh, okay, so her taste level is something I was not familiar with her game, as they say. Like, and there may be something there.
Do we think it's her, or do we think it's the gays around her?
Yes.
Well, you know, I mean, My friend Joey, when we were coming back from Kylie Minogue, or the day after Kylie Minogue, he was asking me about certain singers and if I like them or not. And I was like, there's a lot of, and maybe this is like what our parents also experienced, but I was like, there's a lot of singers now that I was like, I have my own generation's version of that I don't need this new artist to necessarily fulfill that slot for me anymore, if that makes sense, So like I'm gonna be brave right now. I'm gonna be very brave.
You got it.
I am not a fan of SZA. I think that she, as a person, seems lovely. Her music has done absolutely nothing for me. But I was trying to sit there and think about it, and I was like, well, a lot of today's R&B music I just find very kind of just one note and boring, and maybe I'm just not listening to the right stuff, but like the stuff that she has put out, nothing has captivated me. But I was like, I also have plenty of R&B singers from like the 90s and early 2000s that kind of fill that cup for me, between Aaliyah and Brandy and Monica and Maya and Janet Jackson and plethora of other singers. And so I was like, this like kind of monotonous one note R&B mid-tempo stuff just isn't doing it for me.
He said
and
reductive.
It's reductive.
Look
it up.
Have you heard there's a song by SZA, and I was in a similar place with her. I've warmed up to her for sure. I think the thing with her is that like she is not a hook artist
at
like
all.
she kind of, her melodies are very stream, they're very creative, but they're very stream of conscious. She doesn't repeat a lot of things.
She won me with the Big Boy song.
Yes.
That I was like, why did we not release that one? That's like my favorite thing you've done.
There's a song she has on the first album called Prom, I think you might like.
Okay.
If you haven't heard that yet. It's a lot more, it's a little poppier, I think, but there's still elements of R&B. It doesn't really sound like other SZA songs I've done, but it's I would check that out.
You know what?
It's from The Control.
I felt the exact same way that you did, and then I saw her in concert.
Okay.
And I feel like that sort of changed everything, because like I agree with you on the R&B, and I think that there's a lot of R&B girlies that are kind of in this rut because there's a lot of talent out there. Like SZA's got a great voice, Money Long's got a great voice. What's her face? Kelly Uchis is great. Georgia Smith, and who's the other one? I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, all the R&B girls, like, but I feel like there's this weird rut with R&B right now, and I feel like nobody knows what to do to like kind of make the genre more interesting, and it's just sort of like R&B for R&B's sake.
I just feel like everything is mid-tempo. I just I'm like, where is the like he wasn't man enough songs?
Right.
Where's the lose my breath songs? Where's the deja vu's? Where's the boy is mine? Like I just feel like we are just getting one note constantly, and it's not diverse. I mean, it's a genre that can be.
Oh my god, do you listen to Amber Mark?
I have never even heard of.
Oh my god,
I've heard of her. I got invited to her concert and I did not go. I guess I should have.
I've got to send you some of her stuff, because she does have some of the more like R&B type stuff, but she has some really really cute like bops too that I think you might like.
Okay.
But yeah, she's really really great.
And I guess it's just my long-winded way of just saying that like there's a lot of new artists right now that just like my cup's already filled with the type of music that they are already making. And that's how I feel about Tate McRae. Like I already have the song, her best songs have already been made by other artists that I love.
I wonder if this has to do completely with them, or if this is where we're at in the major label system as well. Because I feel like most of the interesting music that I have heard or listened to comes from the indie labels. Like I get pitched things all the time because of work, and it's like I always look forward to the indie stuff, because I know that there's people that are at least going to be trying, and this label is going to give people a space to try and make whatever their sound is. Whereas a lot of the majors are just giving me like 5 songs of the same exact thing over and over again.
Speaking of, not to give too much away, but our next episode that we are recording, I cannot wait to talk about it. Because
indie artists?
Because an indie artist or two may be joining us to talk about maybe a new song, maybe.
Maybe.
And
maybe if I can get the other if they can get the other indie artists to fucking commit to a fucking time.
we'll tell them to stop being delusional and commit.
You know what? I don't think so, because I don't know if Bentley listens to this. I will say that bitch, love her to death, will get so like irritated when I don't reply about business stuff. But the moment I ask business stuff, radio silent.
Oh,
Period.
don't you hate? Don't you
And I'm
hate it when
calling
people?
her out.
Right? Don't you hate it when you email people about their publishing and then they just don't even reply to your email?
I wouldn't
my
know. I've
gosh.
never done that. You have to talk to my manager about
Got
it.
Oh my
got it. Okay,
god. Drag. Everyone's dragging each other. And I'm like, I'm still perfect.
Well, no audio
and
issues here.
And I'm talking about like a direct text. I will
Sure.
to a best friend.
Right.
Yeah. But all that said, I mean, y'all, I don't want to give anything away. It's great. It's really good.
Thank you.
And I've said that a million times over.
To actually write the other songs.
Right.
this coming week.
Let's celebrate that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So do you want to, I mean, I'm sure that we'll, when this actually happens and the discussion actually happens, we'll go further into that. But without Bentley being here, what?
Yes. No.
What? No. What? Or when do you think the moment happened, or do you remember something specific about like, oh, this is going to be a thing with the two of you working together?
You mean the Tears and Gears project? I think it was something that he had floated. It was just we were riding so high off of kind of the synergy we had on the last tour. Also, when we do Chicago, Zach, if you don't get your ass to
know
Chicago,
I'm not kidding. I don't care what's happening in my life.
I know you don't love to travel.
No, I know. I really need to like get drugged up or something. Like I need to get something. Yeah.
You just need a hit of our love drug.
Literally. No, I'm not kidding. The next time you're there, I'm
okay, because we are. I mean, I'm not trying to.
I have a whole fantasy about it.
But there may or may not be, another little jaunt around the country.
A jaunt.
We love a jaunt.
I love a jaunt. I don't want to confirm too many things, but
gotcha.
I'll tell you some stuff off mic.
Yeah.
But just we were sort of riding high off of that. Plus, we had done like 3 separate collaborations, but all of those had sort of been like individual songs first, and then we had the other person hop on and like write their verse separately. These are all songs that we've written together in the same room together from scratch from the beginning. And so it's a very different energy, and we are not too. The nice thing about this, and I don't want to like get too much into stuff that we might go into when we're actually both on, but we don't feel as tied down to like a specific sound, or like oh, this isn't consistent with my brand. Like this is a separate thing. And like obviously our own individual like influences are going to come in to play at some point, but I'm not super worried about like, oh, this is too much of a pivot or anything like that. And it's very freeing in a way, and also kind of having help with lyric writing, because that's the thing that takes me the most time. Like I'd really put that off for a long time. And knowing that it's like I'm not having to shoulder 100% of this project, it allows me to let go a lot. And we finished 2 songs in a day. Our last session. That I have not done that in years. Wow. And when I did do that, I hated both songs. This time I loved both songs. So it's been really, really cool. I'm very excited. I'm just trying. I was just like, I need my Coachella rasp to go away before next week, because girl, I need to be on point. And then I have a show next weekend that I need to be on point. So I'm like, praying that my tour stamina kicks in soon.
You're gonna be like Mariah Carey with the what is it, the vapor thing?
Right.
It's charging over there right now.
I 100% thought you said that you needed your Coachella rash to go away, and I was like, oh. I was like, we just learned.
No, wasn't that good of a time?
Right.
Oh my god, let's celebrate that. Right. Let's celebrate that.
Me, in that heat, honey, no one's ready.
Right.
Okay. How hot is it there?
Like 110.
It's like 100. It was like 101 degrees at the
And
Although once
Palm
the sun
Springs in
starts to go
general.
down, once the sun starts to go to at like 7 or so, and it gets to like 80 degrees, that's really nice.
It's incredible.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
But it's like dry heat, right? It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's pretty dry. I mean,
okay.
you're still sweating.
Yeah.
right.
but
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
But it's dry.
'Cause,
There's no bugs.
But during the
Ugh.
day, you're like you don't pee at all because you're just sweating.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I mean, a lot of people are like very like half naked, but like even thinking about it being 110 degrees and still seeing what people are wearing, I'm like, I would be.
Some
I
of
don't
them,
know.
I'm just like, the beauty is not worth the pain.
I'm sorry. Like you're walking around with things that have feathers, and I'm like, we're not doing feathers in
Mm-mm.
110 degrees.
Yeah.
I had my little backpack, and I had like 3 or 4 different like items of clothing. I just kind of changed between. Like I had like a caftan.
Mm-hmm.
I had like my other Mayhem. I almost said Chromatica shirt, and I had like just a tank top. And at the end of the day, I just ended shirt off, big chain,
Right.
big
Love.
sunglasses.
Right.
Let's celebrate
Kept
that.
kept it simple, you know.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Did you wear your
Yeah.
sunscreen?
Oh, I sunscreen like a boss. I'm actually quite
Good.
good at sunscreening.
Good.
I've come to learn.
That is my one thing that
Mhm.
people like here in Michigan make fun of me for, and I was like, you're gonna laugh when you get to be my age, and you're gonna look like a fucking I don't even know.
Right.
Mhm.
So I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta preserve this. We got a big birthday coming up.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, and like you even use sunscreen when it's not hot and sunny on your
Mhm.
face,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
especially if you're white.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Well, you guys, it's gotten to that point of the show where we each like to talk about a song that we don't talk about enough. Oh,
I'm
he said,
never
"Oh,
ready.
fuck."
I'm never
See?
ready for this.
And I literally just got ready when your computer exploded.
That's so funny. Well, I am very prepared because I
Okay,
like to
go ahead.
because again, I am perfect.
Baby.
No, but this is the point in the show where we like to talk about a rare song. Maybe it's a flop single, maybe it's a remix. It's just a song that we do not talk about enough. Sounds like the two of you needs a moment. So
I'm ready. I'm ready, but you go first.
You are ready.
I'm browsing.
Okay.
Go. I'll be
So-
ready by the time you're done.
I went on a nice little walk this morning before we started recording, and I was just kind of going down a rabbit hole of random shit per usual. And this is going to be potentially controversial if we put this on social media, because is always going to be a purist of this artist who's going to be like, this is a well-known song in Sweden or whatever, you know?
Okay.
And yeah, so to them I say calm down, but I was listening
This
to
is America.
This is America, let me tell you what.
Mhm.
And this song was on this artist's first album. It's called You've Got That Something by Robin.
Oh.
And
Oh.
this is back when Robin was in her white woman of color era, and
Yes.
she was doing her R&B
Britney
stylings.
1.0.
Literally. And this song is such a groove. It's so funky. It's a cute little guitar. It's just got these great harmonies and melodies and hooks. And my friend Fallon and we used to listen to this song all the time back when we lived back in our hometown of St. Joe, Michigan. And there's like the like or like the bridge of the song. She's like, you got that feeling, make me that feeling, make me that. It's like just like this, like, I don't know, just this great feel good, euphoric song. And, Robin does not revisit her earlier work very much, but
sadly.
I will say it sounds like there's a Robin dance party happening somewhere in New York. And she reposted someone's like handwritten song suggestion set list, and it included Bumpy Ride and it's like a remix of I want to say Do You Know What It Takes. And it's the first time I've ever seen her at least acknowledge her earlier work.
She's been to that party in New York before. Like
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has.
And so the
It was
fact
right when
that
Honey was coming out.
Yeah.
I've seen, like, that's the first time I've seen her acknowledge her past work in a minute, probably since 2008 when she did a new version of Show Me Love on tour.
Right.
So anyway,
Oh.
Robin, you've got that something.
And I mean, really, like, it's Robin. It's time. It's been so long since Honey.
Remember when we were saying, Robin, it's been so long since Body Talk.
Right. But this is
Right.
like, where are we at? This is like 5 years, 6 years, 7
6 years. Almost 7.
almost 7
something
It
years.
was
like
20. The end of this year, it'll be 7 years.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like she's doing something.
Well,
because
she's got the new Royksop album just sort of dropped and does new versions of what is it, With
They're
Every Heartbeat and
no, it's
Monument.
Do It Do It Again, Monument,
Monument.
and The Girl and the Robot are all on there.
Yeah.
But I mean, she just released her collaboration with Jamie XX last year.
So good.
And the remix of 360 with Charlie.
Mhm.
And she's been doing kind of like some random appearances lately. Like she did some H&M thing in LA. She did she was on SNL 50. Like, so I feel like she's got something cooking.
God, I hope so.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need it. We deserve it. We deserve it.
So for mine, I'm going to go a little bit more obscure than Robin and a little bit further back in time to 1995. And
Love.
while these two songs are definitely not songs that this artist is known for, the producer that she worked with is somebody that she worked with her entire career and is somebody that is known for these types of songs. And really random, but it's Bonnie Tyler. And in 1995 on East West Records, she put out an album called Free Spirit. And it was a lot of different collaborations with other people, but it did have her also returning to production with Jim Steinman, who did Total Eclipse of the Heart, did Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now, all the really, really big ballads. And she covered two songs, which are my two favorite tracks on this album, but I will only pick one of them. But one of the covers that she's actually more known for is Air Supply's Making Love Out of Nothing at All, which if you don't know it, and Zach, it's almost 8 minutes long.
Love.
Right. There's a whole like ridiculous intro with like operatic vocals from her mother, apparently. Whatever. Yeah, really random. But she also covers Meatloaf's 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad, which was written by Jim Steinman, but she does it as a dance song. And it's, again, almost 9 minutes long. It's sort of kind of cheesy, like Euro-ish type production for the 90s, but it's done by Jim Steinman. It's got the big, like, booming Jim Steinman backing vocals, which I love. It's so good. And there was even remixes by Ralphie Rosario that came out too. I don't think they came out on streaming, but they were out on vinyl back in the day. But that's, yeah, I was a very, very big Meatloaf fan growing up.
Wow.
So, yeah, all that dramatic shit I was really
can see
into.
that.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate that. I'm gonna have to. I am not familiar with her discography at all. Besides Total Eclipse of the Heart,
There are
So-
some really, really great things, and then there's some absolutely questionable choices. But she's just one of those women that just since I was
That's
a kid,
any artist,
right? That I just absolutely. Well, you know, like she's the original version of Tina Turner's "The Best," originally done by Bonnie Tyler.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah,
I knew it was a cover, but I didn't realize that was her.
She did that originally. She also did Ace of Base's "Don't Turn Around" was originally Bonnie Tyler's song.
Really?
Wow. Oh, so
Yeah.
she really is the queen of pop.
Oh yeah, as it turns out. And it's like,
wait, what was the other Ace of Base song that was a Tina Turner song?
oh no, I'm sorry. Don't Tina
Don't
Turner
Turn Around.
also covered "Don't Turn Around,"
Yeah.
but she
okay.
also covered it.
Oh,
But
okay.
Bonnie's was the original.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible.
But she's got a few things like that because they all were working with like the same producers. I think, yeah, it's like super weird. Like when you get into like the 80s producers of it all, but I love her stuff. I could send you some stuff that's really, really good because like I said, there are some very questionable choices, especially one where she covers. And I'm telling you, I'm not going from Dreamgirls. Can't even.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Z, before you give us your choice,
Yes.
what's your most questionable music choice that you've made?
That I've made.
Uh-huh.
Love this. Actually, this would be a great thing to ask other musicians on the podcast.
Yeah.
Let me look at my discography. real
Don't you
quick.
dare say Four on the Floor.
No, Prom Dress. For sure.
Oh, okay. I know why. I feel like I know why. Yeah. We can't say it
mean,
on mic.
I know. I don't care. There's been development on that.
Is there? Oh, I'm so
no,
excited.
just like stylistically, I was like, I just want to do something stupid and like fun and like I don't know, not very me, but it's
okay.
the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So wow, really dissing his own.
Questionable, not bad.
Yeah,
but just sort of
yeah,
like
sure, fair.
I
not
have
Four on the Floor.
Tons of questionable remixes. Everybody has them. Where I'm like, where did I think I was going with this sound? Who was this for? Who was this intended for?
Well, speaking of speaking of questionable remixes, A.G. Cook apparently has cooked up a remix for Kesha's Yippee Ki Yay, and they performed it together at Coachella this weekend. I watched the entire thing, and I was like, you know what A.G. Cook is the king of? Making a build-up that goes nowhere.
You know what? A.G. Cook is the king of making songs I don't music, making sounds I don't like.
Yeah, like he has co-produced and produced some great stuff, but I would say nine
At
times
what
out of 10,
cost?
at what cost? And I feel like he's intentionally being brat, if you
I was
will.
gonna say all
And
of his music just feels very Bushwick, Brooklyn.
I'm like it's a remix that I was kind of like, what is the purpose of this? I was like, this isn't really a danceable remix. It has like 2 or 3 different buildups that you think, okay, here's the beat's gonna switch. We're gonna get it's gonna drop and it's gonna go insane. Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
This
just
is
goes. Yeah.
Nope.
This is very much how I felt about Dawn of Chromatica.
Oh,
Did not like Dawn of
interesting.
Chromatica at all.
At all.
Interesting.
At all.
That
That's
is one
fair.
I will never go back to.
I did like a few remixes. I did like the Alice remix just because it kind of reminded me of Promiscuous. I love. No, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fair.
There was not a single version on that I liked as much as the original.
Right.
And they did kind of like adjust a little bit with the House Labs version of Babylon, only to not release the one that we actually wanted.
Right.
They did. I was like, y'all know what we wanted. I mean, I do love that beat. I think it's sick. But anyway, okay, Z, what is your song we don't talk about enough?
Oh my god, wait, I just had it. Oh my god, what was it? Okay, yeah. So I kind of got some Twitter account I posted something this week. Oh, and I actually texted the y'all in the group chat about it. I was just like, thoughts? I'm gonna go with Natalia Kills.
Oh, work.
Free.
Love.
But the version without will.i.am, which is not available anywhere on streaming.
Of course.
That I can find. I remember I had this album on my iPod in 2011.
Yep.
This was also like Born This Way summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like I had I had run the wheels off that thing, and I'm like, I need something similar that's going to give me a similar kind of energy, like Gaga vibes, but like not a ripoff. And I think she was on like she was a Cherry Tree Records girl as well, I think.
Yeah.
So it's very clear they were trying to sort of like replicate a format, but I think so many of these songs stand on their own really well. Like I was just listening to this album again for the first time in a while, and like the first like 3/4 of that album is just like boom, boom, boom. Oh my god. Whoa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really, really, really creative and great vocals, good writing, very interesting production. Love Zombie. I love Break You Hard. Love Is a Suicide. Mirrors feels a little bit like We Want Another Just Dance, but whatever, it's fine. Either way, I love this album. And something about Free, because like at the time that came out, I just was like this broke girl like walking around like she's like a fucking like a rich bitch, and that was very, because I was 21 when this came out. I was almost done with college. I had, my band was like doing things. I was like dropping acid. I felt like I was living in Boston with like, finally an adult, but no real responsibilities. It was just very, this kind of like encapsulated my energy at the time. And I don't really feel like I see people talk about like this album much anymore, but like that version specifically without will.i.am was one of my favorites from that. So I want to give some love to her.
I love that.
There's something about her and Queen Herbie that sort of linked together as the same person in my mind.
Oh, interesting.
So they had that blunt kind of brunette
bangs. Yeah, maybe it's that, but it's like there's something about what they were both doing, because they both had different projects with different names.
Yeah.
And they were all, like in the pop space and like doing their thing. But I
Carmen is to Natalia Kills what Queen Herbie is to Teddy Sinclair.
There it is. There it is. That's it. That's exactly it.
There it is. And I think that I responded to you, Z, because very timely, because she just posted for the first time on social media in over a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Apparently she had some major health issues. I forget, she was diagnosed with something, but basically there's like a benign tumor in her brain.
Oh my god.
And she's had to like relearn how to do like she had a surgery, and she's had to relearn how to like do daily tasks, and she says it's Yeah, it's crazy, which is really sad. I'm glad that she seems to be on the mend and is okay
Right.
for the most part, but she said that like she will always have, and I have this, which made when she said that she had this, I was like, wait, what? But it sounds like the floaties in your
Oh yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
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 But she has that, and she has like some other issues, but she said that I guess new stuff is on the way. But
Okay.
That is
yeah, but I
wild.
was
Love
like
that.
that's crazy how you brought this up, and then like 2 days later she posts that. I was like, what is in the air?
Right.
like that's so wild. But yeah,
And the thing is, people, every time I mention her, people are like, oh, and she killed her career on that show. And it's like, I have never seen that clip. And like, I don't really care.
No.
I really don't care.
the thing
I don't like watching cringy things like that. It makes me really
Same,
uncomfortable.
Well, here's the thing. I first of all kind of have used that clip in memes before because it's kind of hysterical because
Yeah.
she's just kind of going off on this guy. But it's no different than seeing Simon Cowell go off on
Right.
a plethora of people throughout the years. I truly, when people said that killed her career, I was like, how did this kill her career?
Right.
Like that is insane to the point where she changed her stage name.
But they'll take it from a man, they won't take it from a woman.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, she was being like wild kind of, but at the
Right.
same time, but I wouldn't call it, it was just funny. It was television. Like it's, I don't know.
People are really dramatic about any time like an artist does something kind of wild. Like people, like when Chappell Roan was kind of having her moment earlier this year where she was like kind of spinning out a little bit. They were like, I was seeing all these people on top of like, I truly think we are seeing the decline of Chappell Roan.
Right.
I do not think she's, and I'm like, you guys are so
Right.
You think like one little thing like this is gonna derail this girl? Like you are so in the moment and like stupid and like nearsighted about this shit. Like,
Yeah.
give her a second. It's like, I think she's gonna cancel her SNL performance. I don't think we're getting another album. I think after this she's gonna stop music. It's like, baby,
Guys, Chris Brown
Don't be
is
an
on a
idiot.
sold out world tour right now.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Chappell's gonna be fine.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like almost not even from like a cancellation point as much as like I don't think she can handle it. It's like, I think she can handle it. I just don't think anyone has been through this before.
Right.
Right.
In the last
yeah.
10 years.
And she's also made it really clear that if she does, like if it doesn't continue on, like she doesn't, I think that she'd rather it
She will be fine.
Right.
Yeah,
She said
she'll be
she
good.
misses that kind of, inspiration she got earlier on when there was like less pressure and like because I certainly don't think she expected this.
Right.
No. I mean,
Well-
again, I don't think we've ever really seen a pop star kind of blow up in real time the way that we saw with her. Like going from like one
Yeah.
weekend, it's small crowds. I mean, truly, I saw her here in Grand Rapids. She played a venue here called the Intersection. I think it holds maybe 5,000 people at capacity. Very, very tiny. And I mean, it was 2 weekends later that you started seeing these huge crowds in all the festivals. So it's crazy. Like I've never seen that.
She's
ever.
an industry plant. No.
And
I
no
love when people
seeds, they
say that.
spread.
Right.
I don't.
I love
You know
Favorite
who-
term.
I mean, like, you know who is an industry plant is like the Spice Girls,
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
They're
Someone
formed by a
was-
record label.
Apparently, someone it was Justin Tranter, I think, who was saying, someone was saying that they like had them on their podcast or something like that, and apparently he was like, you know what? No one nowadays is an industry plant. All your favorites back in the day, those are industry plants
Yeah,
by the
Yeah.
definition, whatever the
Right.
fuck that is.
Right.
yeah. Because I would think that
It's
like an
just
industry
marketing.
plant.
Right.
Yeah, I would think that an industry plant is like a record label sought out artists, whether it's
Mhm.
singular or a group, to
Yeah.
put them out as an artist.
Britney Spears is an industry plant.
I mean,
Yeah. Britney is an industry plant. NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Spice
Yes.
Girls.
there's tons of
Uh,
them.
Yeah,
I feel like this rise in like the need for like authenticity, I think has
It's such a
um,
buzzword. I hate it.
Yeah, which nothing wrong with it, but if we're
No.
saying like authenticity equals like quality,
Mhm.
I think that's where we start to lose the plot a little bit. And it's like, oh well you didn't come from where you said you did, and it's like, God forbid someone choose a stage name
Right.
or
Right.
some shit like that. Like when
Yeah.
people were coming for Lana Del Rey, it's like that's not even her name. It's like, okay, Sting.
Right. Well, they
yeah.
used to say that in the 90s and early 2000s, mostly in the 90s with I think it's Ice Cube. It's either Ice Cube or no, not Ice Cube, Ice-T, the rapper, because they're just like, the things he raps about, that wasn't his life because he came from like a really like wealthy family in New Jersey. And who
Okay.
cares? Like what and this is what I always say, like what matters is what comes out of the speaker.
Yeah.
Like I understand like there's an authenticity factor and I don't want people to be lying to me either, but it's like sometimes people are just good at doing the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Like people got mad at Beyonce for like, I just quit my job, and I'm like, this is so this hate right here is so forced.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, what would you like her to sing about? Being a billionaire?
Well,
Like, and
because-
then you get mad at her for that.
And I saw there was a whole thing talking an article that hit last few days, maybe last week, where they were saying that a lot of the shows for Cowboy Carter aren't sold out yet. And
I got cheap tickets.
well, so here's
Did you?
so they were talking about specific shows that weren't sold out, and I was like, all right, I said, let me just go look and see before I make a comment and say something stupid. And it's like literally all the tickets that weren't sold out were limited view tickets, obstructed view tickets, and I'm like, I mean, like I don't but I just don't understand the need for the hit pieces.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that's
what I'm like.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not even telling
I'm
the full
also
story.
I'm not complaining. Like I feel like tickets should be $50.
Well, but that's the thing too, is that I was like, people are broke, and more often than not, people are not buying the tickets in advance like they used to. They're buying them like the week of, because even when we went to go see Kylie, I was like, maybe like a few days before, I was like, maybe we'll go and get better tickets. I was like, let's see how much they are. And when we looked, there was still a lot of tickets available. And then when I was there that night, completely sold out.
We did that for Janet. We did that for Janet Jackson a couple years ago in Atlanta. We waited till like 2 hours before the show and got them for like really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got my Renaissance tickets day of.
Yeah.
Still more than I would have liked to pay, but
Right.
Yeah.
I was there.
Renaissance was the most expensive concert that I've ever purchased a ticket for. Like I'll never forget. He was like, they're floor seats, and I was like, I closed my eyes and I go, just do it. I was like, we'll figure it out. Just do it. Yeah.
Right. And now you look back and that money's not even in play anymore.
But if there's any show you want to have floor seats to, I think it's that one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, this is why we're dealing with this now with the Cowboy Carter tour, because it's like we have seats, but they're further out than I would like just to have them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the floor seats in the New Jersey show right now are going for $4,500. The same exact seats are going for £300 in Paris.
Wow.
So I'm like, we might be going to Paris.
Wow.
Are you happy to be in Paris?
Right? I'm like, right.
Are you happy to be in Paris?
Beyonce.
Oh my God. I know. I need to get tickets. Maybe I'll try to get some cheap tickets in Chicago or something. No one comes to Michigan anymore. Just like Soldier Field. I know. I will. When you jaunt, I will jaunt there.
Oh, we're gonna.
And boy, will she ever jaunt.
And I jaunt. Now I'm like sitting here like, what am I gonna wear to a Tears and
That's
Groove
what I was thinking.
What would I wear? Oh my God.
I'm not worried about that for you. You've got the fashion.
Right.
On point.
Yeah, but I know, but I will rack my brain until that moment comes.
Girl, me too.
Yeah. I'll be like, what's going on? Well, thank you guys for joining on this episode of Homophonic. I cannot wait to record the next one because it's going to be just as fun, if not more. So until then, peace out.
Bye.
Bye.